What's going on, guys? Welcome back to #AskGSM episode 662 here today for Tuesday, August 4th, 2026. Our first episode in the month of August in 2026. Hope you guys are doing well. I am Graham GSM Matthews. Hope you guys enjoyed SummerSlam weekend. It was a good weekend overall. Had a great time being there. It was a blast live. I did think the overall show was good. I didn't think it was terrible. I didn't think it was amazing. I didn't think it was some people did say it was the show of the year for WWE. Quite honestly, it might have been, but that's kind of a low bar. It was definitely better than the Rumble, Elimination Chamber. WrestleMania, I thought was good. I think the show was better. Backlash, I enjoyed. This was better than Backlash. Clash was kind of marred by bad booking decisions. This was better than Night of Champions. So quite honestly, yeah, it probably was the WWE pay-per-view of the year, which isn't really saying much because we haven't really had a lot of great standout shows this year. I would argue we really haven't had a standout show since maybe SummerSlam last year or Evolution last year. So we're going back at least a year. And some of the shows we've gotten since then have been good, enjoyable, very good, but nothing like great. And I feel like we were consistently getting great shows from WWE. At least good to great in that range, and not like underwhelming or disappointing between late 2022 and mid 2025. And some of the shows in between were not always amazing, but a lot of those shows, like the Elimination Chamber, some of the Manias, some of the B-level shows, Backlash were great. We haven't quite had that since then, which is interesting. But, I still thought it was a good show. We'll get into it here today. I will have a lot more to say on Thursday's WrestleRant Radio. Mr. Marceau should be with us, depending on the time. I was contemplating not going live today, not because I was traveling, but because I did a lot of traveling and I'm still fucking exhausted. I honestly don't know whether my health will be better or worse tomorrow, so I don't want to run the risk of kind of taking the day to relax today and then being just somehow worse tomorrow. I got some sleep last night for the first time in several days. I am still fucking exhausted. My throat hurts right now. There's just a lot going on. I still have to catch up on, a lot of work I got to do. Really, what else is new? But I almost did not go live, but I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get it out of the way. I'm still kind of in the heat of, no pun intended, of SummerSlam weekend and all the stuff that we can get into here today. Also from Raw last night as well. So we will get into it momentarily. Do want to shout out our channel members as we get going here today. That being Alexis, Miss Mon Matthews, Dillon, DiGiacomo, Mrs. Renee, Daniel, Malcolm, at I'm Quarter on X, DJ Swerve1, at Swerve1 on IG, Mr. Marceau, at RJ_Marceau on X, John Ritland, Real Honesty with John Ritland on YouTube, Richie, Red Planet Wrestling on YouTube, Average Grunt at gruntwrestling.bluesky.social on Blue Sky, and Bill Meister, our newest channel member. Thank you to those fine folks who support the channel. More information on how to become a WrestleRant All Access Pass channel member. You can support the channel that way. More information down below. If you want to just simply support the channel by liking this video, that is also greatly appreciated. Like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications for every time we're live here on the channel. That typically is Tuesdays and Thursdays for #AskGSM and WrestleRant Radio, respectively. So you probably noticed, as always, the content here on the channel in the last several days has been a bit all over the place. I uploaded the predictions for SummerSlam. We did them here on WrestleRant Radio, or here on the channel on WrestleRant Radio last Thursday. I wanted to upload the separate clip of the predictions on fucking Friday. But literally as soon as they flew out on Friday night for Minneapolis, I was away from my computer for at least like another day and a half. And I didn't have a chance to upload it until right before SummerSlam Night 2. But in between all of that, though, I did upload a fair amount of live reactions from SummerSlam, including, and I put this on Twitter, it went viral. I got a ton of likes on Instagram when I posted it there as well yesterday. The video, and it's also here on the channel, of Randy Orton returning. Specifically my POV from right above where he ran out of, which was awesome. So thank you to Wingstop for the coverage, by the way. I was in those seats on behalf of them, promoting their stuff. Not even really promoting their stuff. They just kind of sponsored my first half of the trip, which was great. And then the second half, I was in the press box for SummerSlam Night 2, which was also great. So thank you to WWE for having me. Thank you to Wingstop for sponsoring that. And I would not have gotten that great shot of Orton's return had it not been for that. So I thought it was a good show overall. We will get into it. If you guys want to send in a question to this very show, you could do so by tweeting me on the Twitter machine at WrestleRant with the hashtag AskGSM. Find me on Facebook.com as well, Facebook.com/Graham.gsm.Matthews. Drop a comment on the post I usually put up on Monday nights rather, and I will include your question in next week's edition. If not on the wall itself as well, by the way. And I can also include your questions in next week's edition if you drop a comment, or a question rather, on this very video after it's done processing. I'll include it in next week's episode. Or if you join us live, as you are here today, hopefully, include your question in the chat. I will get to it momentarily, and we can include it here in the video in just a second. So that's really about it for now. I'm sure there's plenty more I can say. I did edit my Miz interview. So what I will probably do with that, and bro, there is so much fucking content that I have not published here to the channel. I just haven't had the time to edit certain things. Certain things haven't been able to be like processed and stuff. I have such a backlog of content, not even just from like recently, but we're talking like fucking years here, like a treasure trove of never before seen interviews, reviews. You guys have no idea. It'll all be up eventually. I promise. I am still beyond backed up at the moment. Not even just from SummerSlam, but still shit that I still have not caught up on from months ago. That is how backed up I have been and currently am. So you got to bear with me. But that being said, the Miz interview is all set. We might run one of the clips from that interview in the next couple of days on BR. So I edited that one first. That should be up hopefully within the next week. So keep an eye out for that here in the channel. What I might do is put it up early for channel members. So if you are a channel member, there's an incentive to become one now. You could check out my Miz interview first. And the cool thing about that Miz interview is that it's like almost 10 minutes long. And that doesn't sound like a long time, but when you go to these press junkets at these WWE pay-per-view weekends, they don't give you a lot of time with the talent. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, the talent, they got to go through everyone that's there. They have tight schedules. They have appearances to go to and autograph signings and other shit like that. But we got a pretty good round of notable names this past weekend, from Miz to Javon Evans, Blake Monroe. Natty was there, didn't get a chance to talk to her, but Natty was there. Ethan Page, Matt Cardona. I think that's everyone. But yeah, it was a pretty good round of talent that we got to talk to over the course of the weekend. Lyra Valkyria was also there doing interviews. I did not talk to her, but she was also there in character on Saturday, which was fun. And what was I even saying? Oh, yeah, so like a lot of the talent that we talked to, the interviews are typically very short, like 2 to 3, 4 minutes max, because there's so much media they invite to these things. I mean, the interview times used to be longer, like 5 to 8 minutes. But in the last few years, as they invite more and more media, and the product kind of got hotter, they shorten the times that we have with the talent. Now, Miz does not give a fuck. Now, first of all, there wasn't a lot of media there this weekend anyway, from what I observed. But Miz also does not give a shit. And I literally heard him say to someone while I was there that he likes to give something to everyone. And I don't know if he just means interviews. I think he also means, you know, like a meet and greet. Give them something to remember. You know, especially in interviews. He really invests in every interview that he does. He's personable, he's engaged, he's great. And I watched back the chat that I had with him. It's a little off-center. My camera is not completely centered for that interview, which was annoying. That was my fault. Alexis was not there to kind of help me center it. I was flying solo on that one. But we captured the audio, no issues there. I've had interviews where the audio was cut out and fucked up, and it's been really annoying. Not with Miz. It's just that the video version is a bit kind of off-center. But it was a really great 10-minute conversation. We talked about Bleacher Report, actually, criticism, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, his Talking Smack promo, the 10-year anniversary of such this month, which he was not aware of until I brought it up to him. He was amazing. So if you're interested in checking that out before anyone, be sure to consider becoming a channel member. I will likely put it up in the next few days and then have it will be public for everyone else at some point. Maybe by next week, maybe sooner, I'm not sure. But the Miz interview I am considering having up early and ad-free, by the way, so you won't run into any ads while watching it, for channel members. So that was a really good conversation. That was like one of my highlights of the weekend. That was great. And I also got the belt signed, the Intercontinental Replica title belt, of course, by several people, including one name I did not announce on social media yet. Not a major name, but I just didn't get a chance to post about it. I did get Chad Gable on it, and I also have videos of both individuals who signed the belt this weekend signing it. So I can post those as well here on the channel at some point, along with all the other live reactions. I got a reaction of Kevin Owens' return. I got a reaction of Roman's entrance on night 2, of LA Knight's entrance on night 1, which I think I did put up the other day. So there's a lot of videos I took I have not published yet. But Chad Gable did sign my Intercontinental Championship a day before he actually fucking won it. I was that confident that he was going to win it. He did. It was amazing. He was really cool. And yeah, that video should be up at some point. So enough about me. Let's get into the chat here. Let me pull up the chat, see what you guys are saying. I did see a slew of comments from earlier. I see a massive super chat there from Daniel. My man Daniel, what's going on, brother? Thank you so much for that. A $50 super chat. Holy shit. Let me just get right to that real quick before we go any further. Let me click on that. Daniel, thank you so much, brother. He says, just saying thanks for your entire Alexis' friendship means so much more than y'all know. Daniel, brother, I appreciate you. I appreciate the super chat, but even more over than that, I appreciate you. Daniel, actually, can I share the news, Daniel? I don't know if you put it in the chat earlier, I mean, in the time that I have not. Since the video started, maybe you talked about it in the chat with everyone else here, but Daniel shared some very cool news with me over text. Very similar to what Richie shared with me recently. I won't break the news if you don't want me to, Daniel, but you can bring it up yourself if you'd like, and I can mention it here on the stream in a second. But positive news. He had a very important, he had something very important going on today, and he said it went well. So congrats to him on that. My pleasure, and it was such a pleasure getting to meet and talk to Daniel. I mean, we've known each other virtually through not only this channel, but through Twitter for, I think, over a decade, if you can ask Daniel. Daniel knows. I think at least since 2014, if not sooner, which is a fucking long time. Same thing with Richie, among other people. But Richie, though, I met within a few years of talking to him on Twitter. I did not meet Daniel until last year. So we had known each other through Twitter for at least over a decade, which is insane. And honestly, I've said this every time, and I'm not being disingenuous. I'm not just fucking lying here, and I'm telling you the truth. My favorite parts of these weekends that I go to, SummerSlam, Mania, anything that I go to is either meeting or seeing people I have not seen in a long time. Specifically, getting to meet people that I've met through Twitter and social media that I've never met in person before. There have been certain people that I knew for like fucking 15 years before finally getting to meet them in person. And usually the best place to do that is when I go to these weekends and going to new cities I've never been to before, like Minneapolis, like I saw the Royal Rumble's going to be in Arizona, which is fucking awesome. I've never been in Arizona. If I get to go, I would like to go. If I'm able to go, I will be there for that. I did hear from a few people that I know have also met before, but a few other people that I have not met that I know through Twitter that were there, including Ahmed, actually. Ahmed has been here in the chats before. Not Bukaki Ghost Abu Sika. We're talking Ahmed here. I don't know when the last time he was on one of these streams. But he mentioned to me on Twitter he was there for SummerSlam, and we did not get a chance to meet up, which is a bummer. I think he's from the area. And hopefully at some point, that stuff is always my favorite stuff to do during these weekends. So getting to meet Daniel last year was great. I did meet a few people this year, specifically some podcasting folks that were really, really nice. We literally just chatted about wrestling for like a fucking hour in between me going to signings on Saturday for my belt. And that was really cool. So please, I urge you. I think, Eric, you might have been another one who had said to me last week, he said, I would love to meet you at SummerSlam, whatever. Bother me. Please bother me. Whether it be here on YouTube. Twitter is usually the most effective way, but my notifications this past weekend were a fucking mess. And not for any bad reasons, shockingly this time, but because that Orton video went viral. There might have been a lot of tweets that I missed because my notifications were kind of blowing up from that viral video, from the video going viral. But yeah, if you go to like a Mania, Rumble, SummerSlam, I go to other shit too for AEW and WWE. I was at TNA Slammiversary a few months ago. That was fun too. If you're at any of these shows and you want to meet up, if you don't want to, then that's fine. It honestly probably means more to me than it does to anyone else. If you would like to meet up and we've met up before or we haven't met up before, it doesn't matter. Please let me know. I will go to great lengths to make it happen if you let me know where you are and when it is, as long as I'm able to. But anyway, thank you again, Daniel. I appreciate that. Let's get going through these other chats here. Fernando joining us, saying, good afternoon, WrestleRant. Thank you, Fernando. I apologize for going a little bit live later than usual, but that's because I am still recovering. I am so fucking tired right now. I am exhausted. But I figured I'd rather go live today and then wait until Thursday, as we usually do for WrestleRant Radio, as opposed to waiting until tomorrow and then going live 2 days in a row. I didn't want to do that. Richie, what's going on, my man? Richie said, boy, howdy. Am I the luckiest guy in the world or what? In the world or what? I get to work from home for the rest of the day and watch the new hashtag. Thank you, Richie. I appreciate that. A little 2-for-1 action there. Get to work from home, watch the new video. I appreciate you, Richie. Hope you're doing well, my man. Fernando said, what's your grade for SummerSlam? I would give the show overall between the two nights, I feel like highest B. I wouldn't go any higher than a B. B minus. I feel like it was a good weekend. I would probably go B. I would probably go a B. I think Rollins and Reigns, honestly, would have bumped that overall weekend up from a B minus to a B. That's how good that match was. Really, really good match. Daniel with another fucking super chat. Daniel, what is going on with you today, Daniel? I appreciate you, brother. What is going on? He said, the way you go out of your way to meet and greet is so dope. You said meet and greet, but it is great to meet and greet as well. But Daniel, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I honestly mean it. I don't just say that because it sounds nice or whatever. It honestly does mean, I genuinely am not bullshitting you. It probably does mean more to me to meet some of you guys and other people I know through social media, or to reunite with certain people I haven't seen in a long time, than it does to you or other people or whatever. I can't properly express how much that sort of stuff means, especially without the support. I mean, it gets said all the time, and it's true, though. Without you, there's no me, as far as, like, if you don't support the content, I'm probably not sitting here doing it. So it's the least I can do. It really doesn't bother me at all. It's just more always a matter of getting into the same place at the same time. And just, like, these weekends are always so fucking hectic. They're not vacations. Like, I love going to the shows. There's always so much to do. I am in pain by the time the weekend is over. I am fucking tired by the time the weekend is over. I am beyond backed up with work stuff I got to do by the time the weekend is over. I have a lot of content to catch up on by the time the weekend is over, and that's in addition to all the travel and everything else. Always worth it. There's never been a weekend that I have gone out on one of these wrestling trips, and it has not been worth it. But usually what makes it worth it more than anything than, like, the interviews or the shows themselves, anything like that, is the getting to talk to people. Literally after SummerSlam night 1 was over, night 2 was over. Night 1 I was in the crowd with some people, and we went back to our hotel afterward, and I just I had to get work done, but that was it. I went back to my hotel as soon as that was over. I promise I'll stop rambling in a second, but after night 2 was over, I was hanging out with 2 of the media people, Rick Ucchino from Sports Illustrated, shout out to him, and Pluggo from the Between Two Beards podcast. I've done a lot of shows with them. They're phenomenal. I've plugged them here on the show quite a bit. I was on their podcast a few months ago, and they're 2 great guys. I've been on their show a handful of times over the years. So I was talking to the 2 of them after the show was over for like an hour and a half. And I mean, it would honestly be a lot easier for me just to go back to my hotel and just get work done or go to fucking bed and not, just in sleep. But I enjoy the camaraderie, and it's not like it's a job, you know what I mean? Like, I genuinely do enjoy catching up with people after these shows are over, and it's such a weird dynamic, too, because I feel like, I don't even feel like, I am very, not specifically antisocial, but specifically very introverted. I am extremely fucking introverted. Not in the sense where I'm, like, scared to talk to people, but in the sense where, like, I would rather be by myself. Like, night 2 of Mania, and of SummerSlam, rather, in the press box, there was, like, no one in the press box. I don't know why, but there was, like, no one in the press box, and I just sat by myself. I was like, I don't want to be bothered, man. I don't want to be bothered. No offense to anyone else in the box. All great people. But I'm like, if I get to sit by myself, I can get my work done. I can eat my food in peace. And I can react with everything else. The press box was open, so it wasn't lonely or anything like that. But when it comes to conversating with people after the shows are over, those are always a lot of fun. Daniel with another fucking super chat. Daniel, you're just a fucking menace today. He said, yes, you can share the news. So Daniel's news was, first of all, Daniel, thank you again for that. Second of all, his news was that Daniel had an interview today. He had a job interview today, and he's got the feeling that he's pretty much got the job. So congrats to Daniel. That is awesome news. I had mentioned something similar about Richie, I think a week or two ago, so shout out to Richie as well, who got equally exciting news recently. Always awesome to hear about that sort of stuff, so congrats to you fine folks. Very deserving, and that would be, to say that you're very deserving would be an understatement for the both of you. So, yeah, be sure to congratulate Daniel and Richie on that as well. Fernando said, did WWE press the reset button on Braun Breaker? It felt like it, right? By putting him in that program with Obafemi last night on Raw. Certainly felt like they were pressing the reset button on him, which was very well much needed. Now, I don't think he escaped. I don't think he escapes this feud as the winner. I think he is losing to Obafemi, as he probably should. So, not the best way to kind of get him back on track, but at least he's doing something of significance for the first time in a long time. So, I know he was feuding with Rollins a few months ago. It's not like it's been years since the last time Braun Breaker was relevant, but he lost that feud. And he really had to kind of get back on track, and this is a step in the right direction. And I think the eventual match would be really good. So I am looking forward to that. Fernando said, what are your top 5 favorite Chelsea Green matches? I don't think I have any. I think I have, and a lot of people honestly would probably tell you the same thing. I think I have more favorite Chelsea Green moments than I do favorite Chelsea Green matches. Now, I will say, her dumpster match, or whatever it was called, with Meechin about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, was really good. I thought those two killed it. They had a fun feud and a really good blow-off. That would have been late 2024, I would say. That was right before she won the Women's United States Championship. That was a good match. I mean, she had some fine matches in TNA. She's had some fine matches in WWE, but for the most part, she's not a great worker. She's a good enough worker, but she's not like a great wrestler. They have other women on those rosters that are much better wrestlers than she is, but she's also far more entertaining than a lot of the other women on either show. So I'm glad she got that moment. The only key now is booking her not like a fucking loser who had just been pinned by B-Fab in a tag team match on SmackDown. You can't just go out and continue booking her like a loser while she's champion. That's just, come on, man. That's just completely ridiculous. You got to book her better than that. Daniel with another goddamn super chat. Daniel is stealing this stream here today. I will not be able to go forward with any of these other chats in here if I keep going through Daniel first. But Daniel said, another drop just cuz. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that, brother. You're the man. Daniel, again, means more than you'll ever know. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate your super chats, but I also appreciate your friendship. So just know that you can text me anytime about anything. And congratulations again. Fernando said, how surprised were you to see KO get announced for the match and win it? I was surprised. Now, I know there were rumors going into the weekend that he was on his way back soon. I was aware of that, but I didn't think that it would be in that spot, So I thought that was cool. Got a great reaction. I thought the way they did it was great. The execution was great. The double swerve of oh, it's Gunther. Oh, no, Kevin Owens is also joining, blah, blah, blah. I thought that was cool. Yeah, and that means we're getting Punk and Owens right out of the gate. Now that Owens is back, and I'm very excited for that. Should Kevin Owens defeat CM Punk for the WWE Championship, Fernando asked. Yes, he should. Will he? Probably not. But I do think he should. That would be great. Eric said, Big Cass got some weird cases. Wired cases? Weird cases? Why is he around? I don't know, Eric. I think you might have your wires crossed. You said wired. I think you mean weird, but I'm saying wired. I think you got your wires crossed. Big Cass, I think as Richie explained, I saw him say this in a later chat, probably to you. He did have some alcohol substance issues. I mean, it's not like Big Cass is completely clean, but the knocks against him, I think he's completely cleaned up. He broke up. Carmella dumped him. That was a long time ago. They broke up a long time ago. There was some sort of an issue backstage with them where like he confronted her, threatened her, whatever it was. They fired him. That's why he got abruptly fired after that feud with Daniel Bryan back in 2018. He had a lot of substance abuse issues for at least another year or two before he went to TNA, and I think 2021. He had a great fucking run in TNA. I thought he had a really, really fun run in TNA. The AEW run was fine. He was there for about 4 years. They really did not do a lot with him. He was in the firm, and he was with Ricky Saints there for a while. He was doing the learning tree shit, which was fucking terrible. And the stuff with Ricky Saints, like he did win the tag title, so he wasn't like a complete loser in AEW. And he was also on TV quite a bit with Jericho, and Jericho never put him over. Now he put him right out of the company because he's gone, which is funny. But yeah, no, Big Cass I think is worthy of another shot. I'm not saying it's definitely going to work. I have wanted Big Cass back in WWE since I saw that TNA run of his. When I saw him in TNA a few years ago, I'm like, okay, I don't really care about this. But he went in there and had a really good match, or a really good showing, and a really good run. And I thought in AEW he also looked good. It sounds like he's got his head on straight. He hasn't had any issues in several years. He's actually married to Lexi Nair, one of the backstage interviewers at AEW. I think they met through DDP. She's DDP's daughter, one of his daughters. He was working with DDP on his, I think, substance abuse issues, and he was part of his program doing DDP yoga or whatever it was. So good for him. I'm happy to see him back, and hopefully he's successful this time. I think he was kind of his own worst enemy there about 10 years ago. Fernando said, should the Motor City Machine Guns challenge the winner of Cope and Christian versus the Bucks at All Out? I would love to see that. I don't know if they would rush into that quite as quickly. But in my opinion, yeah, that would be great. Why waste time? You know, Cope and Christian versus the Bucks, we may never get to see. I would like to see that. I do think we will get the Bucks and the Machine Guns at some point. Them against Cope and Christian is a lot less likely, but that is a match I would like to see before Cope and Christian retire, probably sometime on the sooner side. Richie also said, thoughts on Raw last night, seemingly feeling as if the company hit the reset button. It was the first Raw that I've turned into live in a year plus and watched from start to finish and didn't feel bored. I did think it was a really good show. I had seen some say that it was the best show of the year. I don't know if I'd go quite that far, but it was a very good show. We got the cast return, some good action. We got the returns of Becky and Stephanie, Vaquer, not McMahon. The Roman LA Knight feud kickoff. We kind of know where we're going with that. A fun main event. I did like the show overall. I enjoyed the show. I felt like it felt like there was effort behind it, which is funny, the timing of it, because last week's Raw was fucking awful. And typically, I'm the sort of guy that enjoys Raw more often than not. I'm not going to sit here and say it was a great show, but I thought I would sit here and say it was fine. It was passable. It was enjoyable enough. Last week's Raw was just fucking bad. So they went from one of their worst Raws of the year to one of their best, which was an encouraging turnaround this past week from WWE. Richie also said, Cass has his issues, or had his issues in 2018, 2019 with heavy drinking and mental health episodes, but he has since gone on to get the proper help. He's one of the few people in the business that opted to get better. Yeah, and it's paid off. Seems like a good dude. I'm also rooting for him. Fernando said, Braun Breaker has to go over Obafemi to save his standing as a pillar for the future, right? I think Braun Breaker will be fine regardless. I would find it hard to believe if they would have Oba lose again before he wins a world championship. I think Femi's just going to run right through him. I think that would be a mistake. I think you can have it be competitive. I think Breaker beating Femi is fine. It would obviously mean a lot more to Breaker than it would to Femi. For Femi to beat Breaker means, honestly, at this point, not a hell of a whole lot, especially after you just retired Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. But Breaker needs that win, which is why I would have paired him off with someone else initially, before going to Breaker Femi, I would have given him some wins over. I mean, I know he beat Joe Hendry last night. Ooh, how credible. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? But, yeah, I think that the ultimate feud will be won by Femi. Femi is going and will win that world championship first before Femi. Now, I guess they could have Breaker win the feud and then do Breaker and Roman in the next few months, and Breaker will not win that. The title is ultimately transitioning to Obafemi. All roads lead to Obafemi. So you could have Breaker beat Femi. Breaker gets the shot at Survivor Series or wherever the fuck they do that match, the Rumble, Crown Jewel, whatever. And then you give Femi the shot at WrestleMania. I would not wait that long. I wouldn't even do that. You can always do Breaker, Roman non-title at some point down the road. It doesn't have to be during this run. But that's just how I would book it. Hold on. Let's see. Next chat here from Fernando. Did you and Alexis enjoy Spider-Man Brand New Day? Yeah, we thought it was great. We thought it was a very good movie. Someone asked a question about it, so I won't say too much about it here, but I did think it was a very good movie. We both really liked it. Fernando said, why do you think Big Cass and Enzo are being promoted separately? Are they going to have some solo careers in WWE instead of putting them together? I don't even know what Enzo's status is. I mean, I could see him maybe being on NXT tonight. Enzo and NXT sounds fucking dire. I'm sorry. Enzo and Cass, I do feel like there's some juice there with them as a team. But the problem is there's no fucking division. So I am glad. I think here's my order of events. Cass should be on his own. But if he's with Enzo, that benefits Enzo more than it benefits Cass. Cass is not getting any younger. Try out Cass as a singles. If it doesn't work, maybe then he goes babyface. But I think what he's doing now is smart. Enzo just, I'm sorry, he fucking sucks. On the mic, I could see the skill there, but he really hasn't been necessary in wrestling for at least 10 years. He and Big Cass had something very special 10 years ago. WWE fucked it up. That's not their fault. I mean, they had like backstage heat, and specifically Enzo, so that's probably why they were split up on TV, or part of the reason why they split up. There were a lot of rumors back then. But then they put him on 205 Live, and it fucking sucked, because his matches were largely awful. So, personally speaking, I have zero interest in Enzo being anything on his own. If they want to try out Enzo as a manager for Cass, I feel like people would cheer that, though. I don't know. But he is just really annoying, so I don't know. Maybe it would work. But put him with Cass. I feel like Cass can talk, though. Cass was on his own in TNA, like I said, and it worked. So I feel like if you just do with him what TNA did with him, I think it could work. But with Enzo, I mean, do you put him with someone else? Do not push him on his own. I'm sorry, like I said. Richie knows exactly what I'm talking about. Enzo had a match in Northeast Wrestling about 5 years ago, almost exactly to the day. It was August of 2021. I remember this like it was yesterday. He had a casket match with Jerry Lawler that was just fucking putrid. I'm sorry, the match was awful. Neither one of those guys should have been in the ring that night. The match was really fucking bad. And I'm like, why is this guy, like, I see him doing indie shots. He was in MLW. That didn't pan out. They tried to do the big MSG run in all those years ago. That didn't pan out. New Japan wanted nothing to do with him. Ring of Honor wanted nothing to do with him. AEW, obviously, it never hired Enzo. They hired Cass pretty quickly. Never hired Enzo. He had one match in TNA last year at Slammiversary. And it was like 30 seconds because the idiot's promo went like 5 minutes. So the match had to be rushed. And he was never brought back into TNA after that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he's just not. I'm not saying he's a bad person or anything. I just think the guy, I just genuinely don't give a fuck about him at this point in time. Fernando also said, rank the AEW defectors who are achieving success in WWE right now. I think Penta is the second best AEW defector after Cody Rhodes. Do you agree? So what does AEW defector mean? I know what defector means. But, like, are we including people that were there before, like CM Punk? I mean, number one would be Cody, because he's the guy. Number two would be Punk. I mean, Punk's had a great run in WWE by and large since he came back. I would probably say it's Cody, Punk, Penta. Ethan hasn't been there long, but he had a great NXT run, so I would put Ethan Page up there. Jade's run largely has been very successful. Former WWE Women's Champion, Tag Team Champion. She's over. She's got a group. She was a face and now a heel. So Jade's done well for herself. So definitely those 5. Ricky had a good NXT run. On the main roster, really hasn't done a lot yet. Same thing with Blake. She hasn't really done a lot yet. I'd have to look at who else. Like, I know Aleister Black got fired. Andrade came and left. Rusev, he's probably in the role that he should be in. I think how they've used him since WrestleMania has actually been good. Like, he's won a few matches here and there, but it's not like he's winning titles, and it would be cool if he did. He doesn't really need to, though. So, I think his run's been perfectly fine. Phoenix, like, they could be doing so much more with him, obviously. But yeah, I would say the top, like, AEW defectors are Cody, Punk, obviously. Jade, Penta, and so far, based on his NXT work, Ethan Page. Let's see. Is it time to put the Lucha Bros back together? Not yet, because again, there's no fucking division. Until they can convince me that they are going to take tag team wrestling more seriously on these shows, I do not want to see Penta with Phoenix. Phoenix could benefit from it. But honestly, even then, Phoenix is kind of doing his thing right now on his own on SmackDown as the AAA Cruiserweight Champion or whatever. He's probably going to win more matches doing that than he would be if he was a tag team not even appearing on the show. Ask the New Day. You know, Penta's still over on his own. I know he just lost the IC Championship, but try out Penta in the upper mid-card with him going after the WWE or the World Heavyweight title specifically. I would do that before you put him in the tag team division, which kind of feels like a death knell right now in WWE. Richie asking earlier where I was. I apologize for starting late. I am here now. But thank you, Richie, for that. Daniel also saying you're. Fernando says, ruining or rather running All In at the same time as Mania is company suicide, Graham. Why are we asking this question? Well, Fernando, someone asked this question. I did not. And I will answer that question later. Top 5 WWE SummerSlam Championship main events within the last 5 years. So are we just ranking all of the WWE title matches at Mania in the last, or at SummerSlam in the last 5 years? Are we, like, I guess that's it. I assume that's what you're doing. And I assume we're just talking the WWE title and not the World Heavyweight Championship. So the last 5 WWE title SummerSlam main events. This year was Cody and Punk, which was pretty good. Not great, but it was pretty good. Definitely slightly underwhelming, but it was pretty good. Last year was what? What was the WWE title match last year? Cody and Cena. That would be number 1. That match was amazing. That was one of the best, if not the best match of the year. The year before that was Cody and Solo, which was the weakest of all 3 of the matches I mentioned. So that's easily 3. 3 years ago in 2023 was the Roman J match, which was actually weaker than Cody and Solo. I did not love that match really at all. And then the year before that was Roman and Brock, which I would probably put at 2, actually. That was their last man standing match. So since 2022, I would go Cody Cena from last year. I would go Roman and Brock from 2022. Cody and Punk from this year. Cody and Solo from 2024, and then Roman and Jay from 2023. That is how I would that is how I would rank them. Fernando said, "What is your favorite return from last night?" Oh, from Raw, Big Cass. It was great to see Becky and Stephanie back, but Big Cass has been gone for a long time. I was curious to see how they would use him when he came out, and he was booked like a threat. So I enjoyed that. I thought that was good. Fernando said, "Is Roman versus Seth one of the best SummerSlam main events of all time?" No. Eric Beeston and I of Bleacher Report, we did a ranking of all the SummerSlam main events. I don't even know if this would crack the top 5. I'm going to be honest. I mean, let me look at my list real quick, and I can accurately tell you where it would probably rank. Hold on. You can check out the article for yourself. We did it last week for Bleacher. Let's see. Hold on. My computer's fucking crashing over here. Yep. No, the program crashed. Hold on. Give me a second. All right, that's that. Let me pull up my list. You won't be able to see it, but that's fine. Ranking the SummerSlam main events. So we had said the best SummerSlam main event. Oh, fuck, wrong list. Hold on. We had said the best SummerSlam main event was, I think, Cena and Bryan. This was not as good as that. I pulled up the wrong fucking document again. All right, I found it. So we did Bret Hart and British Bulldog in 92. That's a better match than Roman and Rollins. Cena and Bryan, better match than Roman and Rollins. We did Taker and Edge from 08. Better match than Roman and Rollins. Yeah, I would probably put it maybe in the top 7. I don't know if I would go top 5 with Roman and Rollins. It was a great match, though. It was a really good match. I would put even Roman and Brock from 2022 over Roman and Rollins, me personally speaking. But, it was a really good match. It was a very good match. I don't want to take anything away from that. Let's see. Let me close that real quick. Pull the chat back up here, see what you guys are saying. Fernando said, Cody versus Punk was disappointing. It should have been much better. It should have been better. I wouldn't say much better. I still didn't think it was a very good match. I don't know if they were holding off on purpose, holding back on purpose, that is. I did enjoy the match, but it could have been better. I did expect more. So I do agree with you to an extent. You also said, do you have faith Cody versus Randy the second time will be better? I do, because that first feud was awful, and it kind of has to be better if you don't have Pat McAfee involved. Will it be a generational feud? Maybe not necessarily. But you're asking, will it be better? I would find it very hard to fucking believe that this feud between the two without Pat McAfee involved could be any as bad, if not worse. It would have to be better. Bill Meister, I mentioned his name earlier as among the channel members. Bill, what's going on, brother? Thank you for joining us here on this fine Tuesday. He says, hi, Grim. Hope you're well. Hope you're as well, Bill. Thank you very much for saying that. And thank you for joining us. Fernando said, Graham's an Iron Man. He's more dependable than the mailman. You're goddamn right. I never cease to deliver. Thank you, Fernando. I try my best. I try my best. Eric said, thank you, Brock. Bill Meister said, Graham went viral. I guess I did. With that Randy Orton clip, I guess I did. I tweeted that today, but that clip is the most viral tweet I've ever had in my 17 years on Twitter. I've had tweets that went viral before. Even literally, like, my previous record was only from, like, a couple of months ago when the New Day got their releases, and I posted a video of Kofi Kingston, that Time Machine segment on Raw from 10 years prior, and that fucking blew up, and that got, like, 15,000 likes or some shit. The Orton video got, like, over 1 million views, but also, like, 25,000 likes or something like that. It was crazy. It was insane. My phone is, it's still kind of, I'm still getting notifications from that, and that was like 3 days ago. Richie said, Graham saw Orton appear right from underneath him. I got dabbed up by J. Cole on Friday. Life is good, brother. That's sick. That is very cool. I would imagine that you were at a concert, Richie, on Friday night. That's a pretty sweet flex. That's awesome. What is your favorite item that you get at Wingstop? Oh, that's a good question, Fernando. You're supporting the sponsors for my trip this past week. So what we did was Saturday was fucking hectic, all right? Because I had to do the media stuff in the morning, first thing in the morning. I got like probably closer to 4 hours of sleep, if that. On Friday night, I did the media stuff. I went back to my hotel very briefly. I actually forgot my camera at the junket where the talent hotel is. That's where we had to go to do the interviews. I forgot my fucking camera there, so I had to go back and get it. Go back to my hotel, drop that shit off, go to the Superstore, race over to the Chad Gable signing, which was great. Chad was amazing. He actually remembered me from when I last spoke to him 3 years ago, which was really cool. He's the fucking man. And then after that was over, I was meeting up with some people, so I just hung out there, had some food. I had to go to another signing a few hours later. and that ran late. So I had to rush from that to meeting with the Wingstop people at Wingstop. And by the time I got there, I was super late. But by the time I got there, it was, they were still eating. They had a fucking shit ton of wings out. Literally every type of wing that Wingstop sells, they had sitting out on the table, which was insane. It was the most amount of wings I think I've ever seen in my life. And probably just a basic buffalo wing that I had. They had a lot of good wings. Honestly, it's such a blur at this point, but the basic buffalo wings, personally speaking, I am more of a boneless wing guy, or boneless wing guy. I'm more of that type of guy personally, so I enjoyed all of those wings. The ones with the wings are great too, don't get me wrong, but I prefer boneless. And they had a lot of good flavors. I tried the sauce, which was excellent. I had like corn on the cob or something. I didn't get a chance to try that, but that was actually the first time I've ever been to Wingstop, which is surprising for someone like me who loves chicken. So I approved of it. We actually have a Wingstop near us, so I'll have to go one of these days. But that was a great Saturday. Then we rushed from there to the show. We were there in time for the show, and night one was a lot of fun in person. It was a fun weekend overall. Let's see. Fernando said, who should Chelsea defend her interim championship against first? Good question. JC Jane, maybe? I feel like JC could probably beat her for it. Like, I think doing Chelsea Green versus Rhea to me just doesn't make sense because Chelsea's not going to win. Like, it's fucking Rhea Ripley, the most dominant woman on that roster. I just don't see that happening. So I could see a scenario where they gave Chelsea the moment, but they proceed to have her lose it to like JC before then, or Blake Monroe, or someone like that. Lash Legend, maybe, I don't know. Another heel in the SmackDown Women's Division. But she should defend it before she gets to Rhea, though. They'll probably not have her defend it, just because it's easier to do that, but we'll see. Nike Fan 02, what's going on, my man? He said, who do you see feuding with Cody Rhodes going into Mania 43? I have no idea. You asked another question that I'll get to later here as part of the scheduled questions, as far as who do you see Cody working with? Who do you see this person working with? Kevin Owens, I think you asked, going into WrestleMania. I have no fucking clue. I have no idea, because the landscape can change so drastically in a relatively quick span of time. No idea what they do. I could see them running back Cody and Punk at Mania if one of them goes heel by then. If not, we're getting Cody and Randy now. I don't know. I don't really know who else you would have him work with, unless he went to Raw or he faced Oba maybe. But I feel like Oba and Roman is the match, unless Roman gets Rock, which I still don't think is happening. But they're in Saudi, so you just never know. We will see. Noob, what's going on, my man? He said, hello, Graham. How you doing today? I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking, Noob. Thank you for joining us. I'm still recovering. I am fucking drained right now. I am so tired. I do not feel great right now. I might be even worse by the next time you see or hear from me on Thursday. But I am doing okay. I'm surviving. Let's put it that way. Nathaniel said, hi, do you think Becky Lynch will beat Liv for the title and face Stephanie? So here's the thing. I won't get into too much of this now. Maybe I'll save it for Thursday. But, I don't really want to see Becky take the belt from Liv. I would have rather seen Io take the title from Liv. I don't really like Becky being a babyface already. I would have held off on her being a babyface again a little bit longer. I feel like she hasn't been a heel long enough for that to really mean something. And we've also already seen Liv and Becky a fuck ton of times. We've already seen it a lot. They did it in 2022. They did it in 2024. We don't need it again in 2026. Becky and Stephanie I can get behind. Becky and Liv I don't really care about. Gonna be honest. I'd rather see Liv rekindle her feud with Stephanie, lose the belt back to Stephanie, and then we get Stephanie and Becky. That's what I would like to see personally. Noob said, I just saw the gameplay trailer of the Hood of Marvel Rivals, and Damian Priest nailed the voice of the character very well. I have heard that. I have heard that he does the character very well. That's very cool, that he's in the game and voicing that character. How would you feel about Braun Breaker versus Oba, Nathaniel asked? I'm looking forward to it. I just don't think Braun Breaker is going to win that feud, but I am looking forward to Braun actually doing something of note for the first time in a little bit. He also had fun seeing Spider-Man, he said. That's cool. I am very likely going to see it a second time tomorrow. I was going to see it tonight, but it just didn't work out. But I'll probably see it tomorrow with someone that I promised I would see it with. Fernando said, is Joe Henry losing his shine rapidly? Yes, he is. It was nice to see him pop up at SummerSlam, but the guy never gets a fucking entrance on Raw. He's a comedy act, which is funny because in NXT, he was like the NXT champion, but on Raw, he's a loser. He's just kind of a joke. They never really allow him to do what works for him, you know? Like, they don't do the entrance. The concerts are fine, but last week's concert was just awful. The booking with Henry has not been great on the main roster. Let's put it that way. Fernando said, well, Daniel said share the news, which I did earlier. Fernando said Chelsea winning at SummerSlam is a bigger story than the Knicks. I know you don't like the Knicks, Fernando, but Chelsea winning at SummerSlam, I mean, it wasn't quite the Knicks, but it was a great moment. I can't tell you how fucking loud it was in the building when she won. That was a really, really loud pop. Richie said Dan is joining NXT. I wish that was the news. It might be. He didn't tell me. He said he got the job, but he did not say where the job was. So it very well could be the fucking Performance Center. You could see Dan, Mr. Daniel Malcolm, on NXT tonight. I would not be surprised. Bill, again, said, I'm so happy for Chelsea. If anyone deserves it, it's her. But we can all agree that this interim champion is nonsense and every other injured champion has relinquished it. What are your thoughts? I completely agree, Bill. I completely agree, Bill. I think it's fucking dumb. If it's an interim title, it should not count as a reign. But apparently they are constituting it as it should be an official reign for Chelsea. But at that point, just take the fucking belt off of Rhea. It's like, oh, well, they've done it before. They don't want to do it again. Who gives a shit? The interim title stuff, WWE, I don't think has legit ever done it before. And I think the only other time they had done it was during the pandemic for the fucking Cruiserweight title. No one really remembers that anyway. I think it's a dumb concept. I think it's very stupid. Just give Chelsea an actual run, and maybe they will retcon it and call it an actual run. I don't know. But that is pretty stupid. Danielson, me and Graham go back since around 2012. That is insane, Daniel. That is almost 15 years. Hold on. I just got a random text. That's a long fucking time. A lot of the people I've known through Twitter, I've known since like 2012. Because that was around the time Twitter kind of got popular with like the IWC. Excuse me. So like Richie, a lot of the people I know through Twitter I've known since like 2012. Let's see. Give me back shots, Solomonster. Or actually before that, let me read what Nathaniel had to say. He said, would you want to see Paige and AJ Lee versus the Bellas at Money in the Bank or WrestleMania? Definitely not WrestleMania. I'll tell you that. Money in the Bank would have been fine, but Bree's hurt. So, and I don't think she'll be back anytime soon. So, yeah. Probably not happening. Fernando said you should name your firstborn after Daniel or Richie. Hey, maybe I should. I should name my firstborn if I have a firstborn. We'll see about that. But if I were to have a firstborn, maybe it will be named. The baby would be named after one of you guys. Maybe we can, whoever donates the biggest super chat can get the fucking name of the baby. How crazy would that be? Your son or daughter asks the origin of their name when they grow up. Hey, Mommy, Daddy, how did I get my name? Oh, well, someone donated a bunch of fucking money and they got they earned the right to be able to have my child named after them. That would be insane. Give me back shots, Solomonster said, obviously not now or anytime soon, but I could see Sol Ruka being a really good heel. Her feud versus Zarya showed signs of manipulating/condescending. I don't think she's forever face people label her as. Yeah, I've never seen her really tease her, being a heel. But that would be interesting. It would definitely be interesting. So no time soon. No time soon. Maybe down the road, but I think she is a very natural babyface. I would not force that, but like you said, you said no time soon. But down the road, it could maybe work. She might have the condescending, manipulative character down, but it all depends. Nike said, who should Paul Heyman manage next after Brock is officially retired? Honestly, no one, but he should go back to Braun Breaker. I do not want to see him with Obafemi. Braun Breaker realistically also does not need Paul Heyman, but To have it be fucking Oba would just be stupid. Oba is legit perfect on his own. Heyman managing him would really just be a case of like Heyman trying to latch on to the next big thing. No pun intended. I think that would just be stupid, so I hope they don't do that. Fernando said, why is everyone clamoring for a Paige versus AJ match? For I think they will have a terrible match at this stage. I don't think it would be great. I don't know if, is anyone honestly like clamoring for a Paige AJ match outside of like the divas, like diehards, you know? It's not really a match. I mean, as a quick one-off Raw match, 12 years, kind of running back their feud from 12 years ago. Yeah, for a quick Raw match, sure. But as like a full-length feud in 2026, I do not want to see Paige and AJ, like you said. I have, really, for the same reasons, I don't really want to see the Bella Twins versus Paige either. Like, we saw that over 10 years ago. The matches weren't great even then. I'm not sure they'd be great at all now. I think they should all be working with women that are better than them, not each other. Daniel with another $20 super chat. He just keep blowing them on in here. Daniel, you're a fucking champ. He said, I don't know, I keep doing this. Why I keep doing this? He says, yes, I do. I'm just so glad I'm about to be employed again. Daniel, I am very happy to see that, or hear that rather. Thank you very much again for the super chat. You're the fucking man. Daniel, listen, the job interview you said went well. The Knicks won the NBA Finals. Kevin Owens is back. Can we really complain? That is my question for all of you. Can we really complain with those things happening in the world this past summer? Not a bad place to be in. Let's see. Nathaniel said, were you excited about Kevin Owens' return and does Sammy cost him his title match? I was stoked about Kevin Owens coming back. And does Sammy cost him the title match? He could. He definitely could. I don't think he should. I want to see Punk and Owens not be interrupted at all. But I think that would make sense because Sammy could feel that he was cost that opportunity by Kevin Owens coming back and Gunther also being inserted into the match. Because if not, he feels like he would have been, he would have become number one contender. Richie says, Danathan Maldriguez is your new gimmick name. LOL. Fernando said, Daniel hit the jackpot over the weekend. LOL. Well, he had also mentioned he had just gotten employed again. So that's why he's also incorporating a lot of super chats. So that would make sense. His jackpot was the interview going well today. He's having a lot of good luck in the last 2 months. From what he tells me anyway, from like the Knicks thing and then this, Daniel's having a hell of a summer, which is great to see. His girl's also in NXT now. Excuse me. My God, now I'm getting congested. I apologize, but no, his girl's also in NXT now. The Nikki Blackheart girl. What's her name? I forgot her name, but she's also in NXT now. So he is living life at the moment. Is Daniel Malcolm? W to Daniel Malcolm, Nike fan said. How long do you see Chelsea Green holding the championship? Nathaniel asked. Not long. Honestly, she could lose it as soon as Friday. That's what happened to Zack Ryder. He won the IC title on WrestleMania and lost it the next day on Raw. I could see Chelsea absolutely losing it by SmackDown on Friday. I hope not, but I could see it. Eric, you made the same mistake last week. You said, did you enjoy Doomsday? Eric, it's not called Doomsday. I have not seen Doomsday. It's brand new day. It's a different day. You made the same mistake last week. But yes, I love the movie. I thought it was a great movie. But it was not called fucking Doomsday. Fernando said, rank all of the live-action Spider-Man movies. No Way Home would be 1. Spider-Man 2. Brand New Day. Brand New Day. What else? Spider-Man 1 with Tobey. Homecoming. Far From Home. Amazing Spider-Man 1, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3. That's probably from best to worst is how I would rank them. Did you and RJ go together to SummerSlam? No, I flew solo. RJ was actually on vacation this past week. We talked about that on the show last week. We recorded WrestleRant Radio before. Well, he was literally driving to his vacation destination last Thursday. And he was gone until Saturday. He watched the show while he was away. He watched it when he got home or whatever. I forgot exactly what the timeline was. We could talk to him about it on Thursday, maybe. If we record on Thursday, we'll see. But no, it wasn't RJ. It was just me. Alexis did not go. She was in a musical this weekend. She's still in a musical for the next 2 weeks. So I was by myself. As far as like overall, like I interacted with a lot of people while I was there, but I did fly solo for this trip. To make up for it, though, RJ and I did go to Dynamite a few weeks ago, which was fun. Eric asked, "Did you enjoy the press box food?" I did. I only had the press box food on night 2, but it was good. They had chicken, some sort of fucking macaroni pasta shit or something. They had what else did they have? Some desserts or some shit. I don't know. They had a lot of shit in that press box, but it was good. It was good. It was very nice. May not have been as nice as the free Wingstop wings from before night 1, but it was still very good. Daniel with another fucking super chat. My God, this guy is just an animal. He said, "Much love to Graham and Ty Alexis. That photo meant the world to me." The photo of all of us together, it's a great photo. Was Alexis in that photo or was it just me and you? I don't remember, but I think she took the picture. Either way, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a great photo, and I look forward to hanging out with you again, Daniel. We will shoot the shit in person. We did not hang out nearly long enough, so for the next time that we're all together, we will definitely have a lot more to discuss, and there will be a lot of laughs. I can guarantee you of that. Maybe we can get Richie in on it as well. That would be... Imagine the bants in that conversation. Imagine just the fucking riffing that would go on in that conversation with just the three of us alone. That would be something special. Richie said, "Let's go, big dog." Nathaniel said, "Guess what? Brock Lesnar just announced his retirement." I did see that. That was the implication I got from what happened on night 1 of SummerSlam, but he did make it official on I think Pat McAfee's show, like an hour or two ago. So yes, that's cool. I mean, he should be done. I mean, he said in the interview, like, "Oh, I took that slam from Oba at WrestleMania, and I realized I couldn't go anymore." Yeah, no shit. We watched the match. We've seen Brock since he's been back. The guy's cooked. He's clearly very limited with what he can do. We saw that at SummerSlam. I'm glad he's very likely done, as he should be. And he got to go out in his home state, so I thought it kind of worked out for the best. Eric said, "Me and my wife are expecting our second kid, my third." Oh, congrats, Eric. That's awesome. That is very cool. Let me know when the baby is born. Fernando said, "Since you claim to be an introvert, who broke the ice between you and Alexis?" Alexis. She will tell you that. I will also confirm that to you. She might claim that it was me, but regardless, the end game is she tried harder than I did because I don't really... I mean, there's a whole story there, but she was definitely more forthcoming than I was. She's more outverted anyway, but for a lot of the things as far as that sort of stuff goes, I don't even try. I'm like, fuck this. I could just keep to myself because I don't want to be disappointed. You know what I mean? So I think she and I would both tell you that it was her. Yeah, Nathaniel said on Pat McAfee's show, Brock retired. Yes, I did just mention that. Eric said Chelsea versus Penta. We're not getting that match in WWE. I know why we all want that match and what it reminds us of, but we are not getting that match, unfortunately. Oh, Vontel Blitz. I am in the process of scrolling up, but he had said, according to her IG post, Bianca must have just given birth. Awesome for her and Tez. Well, congrats. I was just wondering that a few days ago. Like, when is the baby going to be born? I feel like she would have had the baby by now, but that is fantastic. She looked like she was about to burst. I saw the photo of her still pregnant recently, so congrats to them. That is fantastic news. Richie said Chelsea versus Penta is probably her peak just from a spectacle standpoint. It is. That is still her most memorable match by far. Anyone would tell you that, including probably Chelsea herself. Is Chelsea the bigger star in her marriage right now? Right now, of course she is. Matt Cardona, I love Matt Cardona. He's not doing shit right now on SmackDown. So it's definitely Chelsea, easily. Noob said, I just saw the gameplay trailer for the hood for Marvel's for Marvel Rivals, and Damian Priest nailed those voice lines, especially him saying Wepa. Oh, we said Wepa in the thing? That's funny. Fernando said, who should win Money in the Bank between Trick Williams, Danhausen, Braun Breaker, or Obafemi? Why in the absolute fuck would Danhausen win Money in the Bank, Fernando? I don't know if you were kidding or not, but that is not a good idea. Of those four, it really should be Braun Breaker. Obafemi already has a guaranteed title shot for winning King of the Ring, or at least he should. So I would have to go Breaker. I like Williams. It's still too soon for that, I would say. And Danhausen, absolutely fucking not. Oh, man, that sucks. Richie said, Dory Funk Jr. passed away. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. A lot of news breaking, apparently, during the stream here today. That's, well, I guess this was a good time to go live. Sad to hear that, though. Glad he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. Obviously a legend of the wrestling game, so sad to hear that Dory Funk Jr. has passed away. Nike fan said, why do you think WWE no longer lets the main event talent wrestle on Raw? 10 years ago in the main event, we got a fatal four-way between KO, Roman, Seth, and Balor, with KO winning his first world title. Well, first of all, Balor was not in that match. Balor was injured, which is why they had that match. It was big cast, but I understand your point. Roman is a much bigger star now than he was 10 years ago, so that's one thing. Does Seth wrestle on Raw? I feel like he hasn't really in a while. Yes, you are right, though. A lot of the bigger stars do not wrestle on Raw as often as they should. Roman is above that now. Brock was never going to. But like Cody should wrestle more on SmackDown. I feel like he has in recent months. Gunther has. Roman won't. Rollins should wrestle more, but he's also older, so maybe he doesn't want to. I don't know. Eric said, do you know Kyle Gaglardi from OTM? If you're talking about the OTM podcast network, Eric, I know of him. I don't know him personally. I did meet a few people, I believe, from the OTM Main Event Network. I met the Ope three-way guys. I was on their podcast recently. I've been on their podcast a few times since last year. They're great dudes. And they now work with the OTM podcast network, assuming that's what you're talking about. So I don't think I met Eric over the weekend. I met a few people from the network. I don't think I met Kyle, if I'm not. I may have. I don't think I did. I met a few people. I don't think I met Kyle. Fernando said, are we finally turning the corner for LA Knights? I mean, he's going to be in the main event, which is nice with Roman. He's not going to fucking win, but it's better than him doing mid-card shit, so there's that. Nathaniel said, do you think Jean Grey and Spider-Man will become a major love interest if they meet in the X-Men or the next Spider-Man movie? No, I don't think so. I know MJ still does not remember Spider-Man, but he has not gotten over her in like a decade. Why the fuck would he just move on to Jean Grey, who, what, because she basically sexually assaulted him by kissing him while under the spell of MJ and whatever, while she had MJ under her spell? That would be messed up. It's probably from the comics, but I would not do that. That would just be extremely fucking random. Richie said, Cass looked like he looked absolutely jacked and shredded. Looks like they're a totally different person. He does. He does look like a totally different person. Good for him. I thought his return went well. They booked him well. He looked like a fucking beast. Richie said the greatest casket match of all time. Yeah, the Jerry Lawler Enzo casket match, that shit was so fucking bad. That shit was so bad. Richie said Enzo had a match with, if I recall correctly, Flip Gordon in Northeast Wrestling, ? I want to say back in 2023, ? Speaking of how Flip isn't with a major promotion by now is bizarre. So I don't know if I remember Enzo versus Flip. If they did do that match, I don't remember, to be honest with you. I haven't seen that match. As far as Flip Gordon is concerned, I think he was like canceled. I know he was like a flat earther or some shit, but there might have been stuff against him that prevented him from getting a, main company contract. The obvious destination for him was AEW because he was close with a lot of the elite guys, but something happened there where he was still under Ring of Honor contract. He could have gone there after it was over, and then it just didn't work out. I don't know what the fuck happened there. Something happened with Flip. He really should have been in AEW a long time ago, but I think he got canceled or some shit. I don't remember. And he has not been on any major company since, I don't think. I think AEW may have brought him in for the occasional fucking dark match years ago, but that was a long time ago. Fernando said, what should be next for Roman Reigns after he dispatches with LA Knights? I personally think it should be Drew. He is set to return shortly after he's done filming Highlander. I like that. Roman's going to beat Drew again, as he always has. That will not change, but I would like that. Drew probably should go to Raw. SmackDown at this point has enough notable names they brought over from two SmackDown, so Raw could use Drew more than SmackDown at this point. I wouldn't mind that. Either Drew or Braun. Braun Breaker, that is. Again, these people are not beating Roman. Realistically, I would have Oba beat Roman now, but they're not going to do that. They don't want to rush that match. They should, but they're going to wait until WrestleMania because that's just what they're going to do. Nathaniel said, do you think LA Knight beats Roman in 3 seconds? He's not going to beat him at all. He's not going to beat him at all. Eric said, Swerve, Jade, Tiffany, and Toni Storm, please rank them. On what? What am I ranking Swerve, Jade, Tiffany, and Toni Storm on? That is very random. It's not even like they're in the same company, so I'm not even really sure what I would be ranking them. What I would be ranking them based on. Fernando said, should Chad have a really long IC title run? Yeah, I mean, it depends on what the story is. If there's someone that comes along that should beat him for it, then I'm not going to say he needs to hold it for like fucking 8 months. But, you know, Penta held it for like 5 months. That's a pretty decent amount of time. Chad doesn't have to hold it for that long, but just give him a run that he can be proud of and have quality matches with. And don't book him like an afterthought of a champion. That is all I ask. Fernando said, should Danhausen get an IC or US title run? No, he should not. He is not the type of person to be holding either mid-card title. There are also so much fucking talent that should be holding those belts before him. I know he's over, but that is not an excuse just to put a belt on him. He would have been perfect for like the 24/7 championship, but since that's not around, you can't do it. The only title he should ever win, I would say, and I love Danhausen, is the tag titles. That's it. Bill said, Graham, I saw your tweet about Brock's retirement. Do you think he will come back for Saudi money? Down the road, yes. For Mania next year, probably not. I mean, I feel like that's too soon after he said he was retired to come back for one more match. That would just be fucking ridiculous. Wouldn't put it past him or WWE. Down the road, could I see it? Yes. For a quick squash or whatever, I could totally see it. Richie said, what was the greatest WWE match in 2010? And why was it Melina versus Alicia Fox? 16-year anniversary is on the 15th. You might want to do a watch-along. We might have to. I mean, that match is so great, I might be in tears while watching it. So, that match is certainly an instant classic. You are right on that, Richie. We might have to do a watch-along to commemorate the anniversary. Fernando said, 2016 is the year of the underdog. Darby, Maya, Sammy, and now Chelsea have all won world titles. Yeah, good for them. Good for them. They all deserve it. Not every underdog is going to win a world title, but I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did. They all deserved it. Chad Gable's another one. If you want to throw Chad, I mean, that's not a world title, but he did win a championship this year, which is very good to see. About fucking time for Chad Gable. Nathaniel said, did you like Brock Lesnar versus Oba main eventing night 1, and do you think it was a great match? Did I like the main eventing? I would have liked it better if it was a better match, but they had to go on last because I think Brock wanted to go on last, knowing he was from the area, knowing it was his retirement. Okay, whatever. You know, that's fine, but no, the match was not great. It was good. It was fun for what it was, but it was only 11 fucking minutes. I literally saw after the match was over, I literally saw someone look at their watch. Like, how long was that match? People were hyped, and then it just ended. So it was definitely, unfortunately, underwhelming. But it was good enough. But for a main event Hell in the Cell match, it absolutely should have been better. Eric said, Liv Io was very decisive. What do you mean by that? Eric had he has a typo there, so I'm not exactly sure what he means. But he said, I saw people saying it was the best opener ever. I also heard people say it wasn't that good. Oh, divisive. That's what you mean. Yeah, it was a divisive match. I saw people, I didn't see it. I wasn't really on Twitter a lot this weekend, like as far as looking at what people were saying. But RJ said that people were saying the Liv isn't that good. That match was great. That was one of the better matches of the entire weekend. So I disagree with anyone that said that match was bad. It was a very good opener to night one. One of the better matches on night one for sure. If not the best match on night one. Although my favorite match of the weekend, if not at least night one, was Gunther Aldis. That was my favorite match from night one, just for personal reasons. Because with Aldis returning and the booking of it, I thought it was great. Richie said, hopefully with Orton back, that means Pat returns and The Rock, and those are his new guys, and he still wants to go after Cody's soul. Could you fucking imagine how bad that would be? That would be crazy. That would be insanity. Richie said, Bianca and Tez probably just deliver the world's most genetically gifted child of all time. Probably already has a six-pack. I would not be surprised. That baby is going to be a fucking prodigy. Mark my words. Nathaniel asked, but I want to see Cody versus Oba at Mania. I would be fine with that. I don't know if that's what they're going to do. I feel like Roma and Oba is the play. But if Roman gets busy with like Fatu, which I don't see happening, or The Rock, which I definitely don't see happening, if he were to, then they would put Oba with Cody and have Oba win the belt from Cody. I think Oba's walking at WrestleMania, hopefully before them, probably at Mania, a world champion. Eric said, was that Becky Steph face-off a tease for 44? It could have been. Or for 43, you mean, not for 44? That's the next WrestleMania. But yeah, I could totally see that. I would think we might get it before then, but it might be WrestleMania. Richie said, Graham, I'm on my way with a WWE-sponsored can of C4 Energy for you, some Slim Jims in Minute Maid. Hey, give me the fucking sponsors. I don't mind the sponsors. Those are all not bad sponsors, you know what I mean? Excuse me. God. I'm getting worse by the minute here, guys. I'm getting worse by the minute here. I'll probably be here on Thursday for WrestleRant Radio, but my health is deteriorating by the moment. That is how fucking... Excuse me. God. My health is deteriorating by the moment. That is how fucking just exhausted I still am from the weekend. And now I need to recuperate. So I apologize for not being 100% here today. But we move on. We move along here. Slim Jims I don't really care for. Minute Maid I like. C4 I did try one time at a WWE sponsored event. Wasn't a fan. I'm not really much of a energy drink person. But I'll take a Minute Maid. I wouldn't mind that. Fernando said, traveling to wrestling shows is slowly killing me. You're fucking right, it's killing me. Jesus Christ. And not just wrestling shows. I've just done so much traveling this summer alone. There's also just been so much other shit going on. Just family stuff and personal stuff, work stuff that I've been busy with, other events. It's just been some bad, some good, but it's just been so much going on. I really haven't had a chance to breathe. And even like the rare weekends where I don't have a lot going on, I'm still behind and have to catch up, you know? So it is definitely killing me. Thankfully, and I might have to travel again to Boston this weekend. That's the other thing too. That is, I'm not saying I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm just fucking tired, dude. I am fucking exhausted. This summer, I just need... Honestly, I love the summers, but this summer specifically has been the most hectic probably of all time. And I just need it to end. I definitely just need it to end. Let's see. I thought Peter was really going to die. I think a lot of people did, Fernando. I think a lot of people did. Fernando said, do you think Sadie did a good job as Jean Grey? Are we just throwing out spoilers now? I mean, I assume everyone saw the movie at this point. I did. Thankfully, I did before I left. I didn't think I'd be able to, but thankfully I did. Yeah, I thought she did well in the role. Nike said, can you confirm that with Alexis that we can name your firstborn child? I will ask her. She probably wouldn't like that, but if the money was right, if someone sent a big enough super chat, then it's kind of hard to ignore the people. So maybe. Richie said, if I ever have a kid, I'm naming them WrestleMania 40, Night 1 and Night 2. Hey, it's the best. That was one of the best WrestleManias, and I know you were there for it, Richie. So if you want to have the best kid, you got to name them after the best show. So why not? Who do I see returning first, Bianca or Naomi? Naomi. I think Naomi had her kid a few months ago, if I'm not mistaken. So just by human biology or anatomy I don't know what the fuck you would call it, but just from that sort of standpoint of just being pregnant, she already gave birth to her kid, did Naomi? So I would think that she would be back first, if I had to guess. Fernando said, how about Heyman replacing Adam as Raw GM? That would be fine. Or Nick Aldis. Why not Nick Aldis? Yeah, I'd rather see Nick in the ring. I know that might be the worst role for him, but I think it'd be worth the chance after how he performed this past week on SmackDown. I know WWE would rather play it safe with Nick and keep him in the GM role, but I know it means a lot to him to have to be able to wrestle. So I'd rather see them run the risk with him in that role. And then I would ideally give the GM role to William Regal. I don't know if you would want to do it. But Regal or Heyman in that role, I wouldn't mind. If it meant Nick Aldis getting back in the ring, I'd be okay with that. Full time, that is. Let's see. Nathaniel said, I'm not hoping for a Paige versus AJ Lee match. I want Paige to face someone she hasn't faced on her own. I agree. Me too. Maybe there's other people that want that match one-on-one. Maybe on TV once. But like for a full-on feud, I have no interest in seeing that. No interest at all. Let's see. Got to backtrack here. Hold on. Also, my phone keeps going off in the corner, so I keep getting distracted from that. I apologize. Let's see. Nathaniel Sir Nike said, I can't complain because it should have been the Spurs, goddammit. Oh, you talking about the Knicks? No, I'm glad it was the Knicks. The Knicks was a better story. Fernando said, Dan is becoming the WrestleRant sugar daddy. Yes, he is. And I would have it no other way. Thank you, Daniel. Nathaniel said, you don't see Chelsea having a couple of months with the title. I don't. I hope she does. I don't. I think Rhea she'll likely be back within the next month or two. If I would have to think. I don't think her injury was that bad. No, Eric, it's not called Doomsday. Avengers Doomsday is out later this year in December. Thank you, Richie. Spider-Man Brand New Day came out July 31st. Again, thank you, Richie, for clarifying. I did mention that last week, Eric, but you probably forgot because you already said this a week or two ago. Yes, Eric had mentioned Chelsea Penta. I forgot. Yes, you had brought that up because I asked about Chelsea's favorite matches, or you did, or someone did. I forgot about that one. You are right. That would be among Chelsea's, probably her best match, if we're being honest. Danhausen in the bank? Fuck no. No, thank you. How do you feel about Danhausen not being on Raw last night? Good. He's very overexposed. I love Danhausen, but I think he'll survive not being on Raw for one night. And for all we know, he was probably featured during a commercial break. But on the actual Raw broadcast, that was one of the best Raws in a while. So I can't say I'm shocked that the show is better, because, I mean, the stuff that he's been involved in recently has not been great. The stuff with Dominic specifically, like the concert sucked, the match at SummerSlam was whatever. I'm glad he was not on the show last night. They can give him a bit of a break. Or relegate that shit to SmackDown. I don't know. Or relegate it to a backstage segment, please. Whatever happened to like the Frankenstein thing, by the way? Whatever happened with that? Was that supposed to be Corbin, but they changed plans? Whatever happened with the whole Frankenstein thing? Fernando said, was Corbin beating Trick the right call? Yes. It might not be a high bar, but this is the best that Corbin has been booked on the main roster in many, 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 many years. So I would run with it. I'm glad they gave him the title. I think he can have good matches. Maybe not with Trick, because their match on Sunday was not great. But I think the potential matches with Carmelo, Ilya, Phoenix, I think could all be really good. So I do think Corbin taking the title from Trick was the right call. Nathaniel said, I'm not sure, Graham, how does Peter get back with MJ? I don't know, but I feel like they'll figure it out. I do. Maybe you'll have to make her fall in love with him all over again. We'll have to wait and see. Richie said he's a flat earther. Talking about Flip Gordon, I think he is. And that's the joke. That was the joke on Being the Elite all those years ago, was that Flip Gordon was a flat earther. So hate to be the one to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm pretty sure he's a flat earther. Nathaniel said, my mom thought Jean Grey looked like Max from, because that is Max. Did your mom go, oh, that looks like Max from Stranger Things? Oh, well, it's because it is, Nathaniel. It's the same person. You probably knew that. Maybe your mom did not. Nike said Roman versus Solo as a babyface. Yeah, eventually, I would not rush into that. I would probably be content not seeing that match because I don't think their matches. I think they only ever had one match, and that was on the Netflix premiere, and it was fine. It was good. It was entertaining, but it wasn't like a barn burner. That doesn't sound like an amazing match to me personally. So I would not rush into that. If they were going to do that match, I would do it down the road. No time soon. Richie said, flat earth and anti-vaccine or anti-mask views, which he later incorporated into an on-screen wrestling gimmick. He also received criticism for defending and supporting past peer Marty Scurll. That's crazy. I would imagine that's straight from Google AI Overview, Richie, or somewhere. I don't know, but you said, okay, screw that guy. What a damn shame. Yeah, that's probably the reason why he was not picked up by any major promotion, if I had to take a guess. But yeah, what a waste of talent. He was really good. And he probably still is. He probably still wrestles in the fucking indies somewhere. I interviewed him actually many years ago, and he was a good guy, but yeah, he really has not, turned into anything since then, unfortunately, when you really probably thought he would. Black Cat will be in the next movie, Fernando said. And what, the Spider-Man movie? That would be cool. I could see it. Maybe, I don't know how that happens or how they incorporate it, but I could probably see that happening. Let's see. Nathaniel said, I'm not sure I see Becky beating Liv or Stephanie for the title. I'm not sure she should. Maybe Stephanie, not Liv. I would not have Liv lose the title to Becky. You can give Becky the belt one more time before she retires, but I would not do it right now. If they did, okay, whatever, but I would not do it right now. We've seen that before anyway, with Becky beating Liv for a title. That's actually how she won the Women's World Championship the last time. A few years ago, she won a Battle Royal by lastly eliminating Liv Morgan. So I would not do that again. Yeah. Richie says, well, Nathaniel, do I have news for you? That was actually Vecna. Yeah. I got the joke. Richie, are you one of those episode 9 conspiracy theorists for Stranger Things? We've talked about this before. Probably not together, but I think I've talked about it here on the show before. RJ and I joke about it all the time, with people thinking that we are actually getting an episode 9 of Stranger Things at some point. It died down a while ago, but there are still people that think that it's coming at some point. Nike said, any dream matches for Brock that we didn't get that you wish we did? Brock versus Edge could have been fire. I don't know if it would have been fire personally, but that would have been interesting. I think Brock and Gunther I still wanted to see. Probably best that we did not get it at this stage. Unfortunately, Brock is kind of washed. But I would have done Brock and Gunther. That's really about it. Brock pretty much faced everyone else. AJ, Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan. We got all of those dream matches, so that's really about it. Nike fans said, what would you say were the top 5 Brock Lesnar matches during his second run? Great question. Him and Punk from SummerSlam, of course. Him and Roman from either Mania or SummerSlam 22. Probably both, to be honest. Him and Cena from Extreme Rules 2012. Him and Taker at SummerSlam 2015 was quite great. Him and Samoa Joe, even though it was brief, from Great Balls of Fire in 2017 was really good. Him and Goldberg at WrestleMania 33 was also great. I don't know if I can limit it to just 5. He's had a lot of really good matches since coming back in 2012. The match with Cody at SummerSlam 2023 was really good. I would probably say that was his last great match in WWE. Fernando said, Peter by mistake by giving damage control to Tech to create the collars that takes away mutant powers. Interesting. I could see them going in that direction. Ratings for TNA on AMC are getting better. Is this something or nothing? It's a good sign. It's not a bad sign. They're not dying on the vine as far as their ratings are concerned. They lose more talent by the fucking week. I saw that Mara Sade already left. I didn't even know she was gone. I heard that AEW had interest in her. I'm like, I didn't even know she left TNA. But yeah, it's good. It's good for them, but I don't know what it's really going to amount to. We'll see. ratings are important, but people also care about the creative and, getting big names. It's not going to be sustainable if the creative doesn't match the ratings. The ratings can be high, but if the creative sucks, eventually those viewers will go away. Nike fan said, what do you think of this title name for Spider-Man 5 being called Spider-Man Dark Day with the villain being Venom? That would be great. I think that'd be really cool. I think I had seen a fake graphic of the not leaked, but like proposed names of what these Spider-Man next few movies could be. And I think that was one of them. That would be interesting. Do I like the direction for Jacob? No. I wish he was on his own. I don't know why the fuck they put him in the bloodline. That to me is a waste. But I did like the main event last night with Royce Keys. I did like that match. I will say that. Nathaniel said, do you have a favorite part in Spider-Man Brand New Day? Mine was Spider-Man's battle with Hulk. I knew you were going to say that. That was a great scene. I think my favorite part might have been the end. That almost made me cry. But the battle with the Hulk was indeed great. I will agree with you on that. Richie said, I tried C4 once and only once, and that was because it was being given out at the end of Mania 40 Night 2. It tasted like ass in sweat, but it kept me awake for the drive back from Philly to CT. I probably should have consumed that, because when I drove back I almost died, I think, twice. On my drive back from Philly for that Mania, not that night, but after Raw the next night, Alexis and I were so fucking tired that we even switched off driving and we still almost drove off the road. That is how tired we were. Same thing happened, me driving back from SummerSlam last year. I was so tired. I mean, I think it was worse for Mania, but leaving SummerSlam last year after night 2 and driving home after the weekend that I had was bad. And then I also had to stay up to work. And then I went to Raw the next night, that same day, and then I had to drive back from Milford from that. Not from Raw itself, but I went to the Milford train station, and I almost fell asleep on the way back from that. And that one I was by myself for. That was fucking concerning. Eric said, Swerve, Tony, Jade, and Tiffany, please rank by your own enjoyment. Of those 4, I'd probably go Swerve 1. I'd probably go Swerve 1, Tony 2, Tiffany 3, and Jade 4. It's probably the ranking I would give for those 4, as far as my own enjoyment. Nike fan said, I saw someone say Aldis and Gunther should be a tag team going forward since they have similar wrestling styles. Could this work? That wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't know how you arrive at that, but that might work. That could work. Fernando said, I am naming my firstborn Veer. First name coming for last name. Hey, somebody, one of the channel members, please throw in the Veer chat. The Veer, you get access to the Veer emoji in the chat, so be sure to throw that in the chat for the firstborn being named after Veer. Fernando said, did you enjoy the video of the New Day released of the unicorns breaking free? I know of the video, I did not watch it, but I heard it was well produced and kind of obviously symbolic of their WWE departure, which is cool. They seem like very creative guys, so I think they will do very well outside of WWE. I think that goes without saying. Let's see. There we go. Richie with the Veer emojis in the chat. There it is. Richie knows ball. Nike fan said, so when Chelsea loses the title, will she still be considered WWE Women's Champion, or will it always be considered interim? I think it was announced that it will be an official run, to be fair. I think it will be considered an official run. So, no, I think it counts. I think that's what WWE said. I think they said that on commentary. I saw that on Twitter, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. They got to clear that up. I do agree with that. Richie said, dog, I didn't even watch the last season of Stranger Things. I honestly couldn't have cared less for it. The episode 9, conspiracy theorists need to go outside. I did watch all of the show. I liked the ending. I liked the last season. I thought the ending was really well done. But I do agree. The episode 9, conspiracy theorists need to go fucking touch grass. Nathaniel said, I think Edge versus Brock, they faced off in 02. I think you're right. I think they did have a match in 02 at some point. So that was a dream match necessarily, but I think technically we did get that match. I think you might be right about that. Eric said, WWE just maybe leaked the Money in the Bank winner. Did they? I have not been on Twitter. Did they leak it Today, or did they tease it, you mean? What do you mean by that? Oh, hold on a second. The chat closed down on me. What the fuck? I don't know if we're still live. Let's see. Hold on. All right, we should still be live. Pop out chat. All right, I have to reconnect it on my end. Hold on, guys. Bada boom. All right, if you are still watching, let me know if this works. If the chat is back up. If I'm back up. All right, there we go. Think we should be good now. Where did I leave off? Did I like Brock versus Undertaker at WrestleMania? No, I thought that match was trash. In 2014, that match was trash. The 2015 SummerSlam rematch was much better. Nike fan said, I really enjoyed Brock versus Rey Mysterio at Survivor Series, and him and AJ also had a great match. Yeah, that was a really good match. Oh, thank you, Richie, for letting me know that we're clicking here, that we're working. For some reason, the back end of my video stopped working, but I think we should be good now. We'll get out of here soon because I'm just dying here. I'm fucking dying, as you could probably tell. So I apologize for not being 100%, but I figured that by talking and doing the stream today, I would feel worse, which is exactly what has happened. But I wanted to get it over with today in case I do feel worse tomorrow. So I'm glad we were able to do this today, and I appreciate all the support, all the love. You guys are great, specifically Daniel. You're the fucking man. Did you like the post-credit scene in Brand New Day? I did. I'll talk about that in a minute. Someone asked about it in the scheduled questions. Nike fan said the battle with the hand. Let's see. I fucking lost my place. He said the battle with the hand in that scene in Spider-Man 4 was really good. Yes, that was a good scene. I thought that was visually very, very appealing. It was very satisfying. It was a very good scene. Nathaniel said, also, I love Spider-Man's battle with the Tank and Punisher. That was also great. That was earlier on in the movie, Nathaniel. Yes, I enjoyed that as well. The Punisher was great in that movie. He was really good. I thought he played his role really, really well. Nathaniel said, I didn't think Brock should have ended the streak, but my mom said Shawn Michaels should have. I disagree with your mom. I don't think it should have been Brock, but I also definitely do not think it should have been Shawn Michaels. I'm glad it was Brock over Shawn, but I would not have ended the streak at all. I would have actually just kept it going or just had him end it undefeated. That would have been my call. All right, so let's get to the scheduled questions. I'm going to go through these quickly because I got to get out of here. I am just beat. I apologize. So let's throw it to the questions. We don't have a lot of them, so this really should not take that long. Starting with Nike Fan 02, who's here in the chat. He said, WWE is having WrestleMania next year in Saudi. How would you feel about AEW moving all into the United States during WrestleMania week? And what city would you like to see hosted it, or would you like to see it hosted in? Yeah, so that's going off the title of today's video. I would not have it run opposite of WrestleMania. Like Fernando said earlier on in the stream in the chat, that would be fucking company suicide. That would be stupid. It would not do AEW any favors. It's the same way I feel about WWE running the NXT PLEs opposite of the AEW shows. The NXT PLEs never benefit from that. Not enough damage is done to the AEW pay-per-views to justify doing that. So I just think that's a fucking mistake. For AEW, I just think that'd be dumb. So they could do All In the States. I would do it in New Orleans. That's where they were supposed to do WrestleMania this past year. They got screwed over. We don't know when they're getting a WrestleMania. So I think New Orleans would like that. They would probably approve of that change. So, yeah, I would probably do it in New Orleans. I would either do it the week before WrestleMania or just do it the same time in the summer. Because also WWE has announced that they have the watch-alongs going on as well for WrestleMania at MSG, I think, and other places in like New York and other cities and shit. So to do All In that same weekend would also just take away from All In. It would not be smart. And it sounds like WWE is doing shit over those weekends anyway. So I know you could do WrestleCon at like New York in those, around that same time because, they're going to have the watch-alongs anyway. But as far as All In is concerned, you could still do it in the summer, but do it in New Orleans and don't run it opposite of WrestleMania because it would not have the effect that you might think it will as far as like, oh, it's in the States and no one will watch WrestleMania. Most people, unless you're one of the AEW sickos, will still watch WrestleMania over All In if it was airing at the same time. I would have to. Because, I mean, WWE is just a bigger company, so I would hope they didn't do that, even if it was the same weekend. Just in my own personal opinion, so I would not do that. His second question, I think WWE should have saved Kevin Owens versus CM Punk for WrestleMania season. What do you think they will do with both guys during Mania season? I mean, listen, I agree that would have been a great Mania feud. We talked about that last week here on the show. I think it's fine that they did it solely because it's a great feud for the fall on SmackDown. I'm fine with that. What do they do with them instead by Mania? I have no idea. I think Cody and Punk could run it back. That's probably likely the direction they're headed in. For Kevin Owens, I think it actually benefits him for this being like the fall feud. Because if it was saved for Mania, first of all, I think plans probably would have changed. Second of all, he was never going to beat CM Punk at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. That was just not going to happen. So I think it actually increases the chances of Kevin Owens becoming WWE Champion if he were to feud with Punk for the fall as opposed to around WrestleMania. So I'm actually kind of glad that's what they're doing because I think Kevin Owens could actually realistically walk away as champion as opposed to around WrestleMania when he very likely would not have. His third comment here. He said, here's a hot take. I might be the only one feeling this way, but I thought that Spider-Man Brand New Day was not better than Spider-Man Brand New No Way Home, rather. What were your thoughts on the movie, and what did you think of that post-credit scene? I thought the movie was great. I talked about this before. I don't really think that's a hot take. I know the movie did better than No Way Home. It's actually the highest grossing like opening day, like movie, box office, whatever the fucking record is. Brand New Day broke all the records, and it's great to see. Well deserved. I still think No Way Home is the better movie. I think it's the more complete movie. It's kind of hard to beat all the cameos in that movie. And it wasn't just cameos. Like, they had storytelling, they had returns, you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to beat all of that. I would still go with No Way Home being the superior film. But Brand New Day was still great. It had great action scenes. It had great emotion. Great character development for Peter specifically. I thought that was really, really good. And I look forward to whatever they do next with the next installment. They kind of set it up pretty well with the ending of that movie, which I thought was very emotional. Like I said earlier, kind of made me shed a tear. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next. As far as the post-credit scene, there really wasn't a lot to it. I saw people shitting on it. To me, it very clearly sets up not Doomsday, but Secret Wars. It's very obvious where they're probably going with that, and there's no one set direction. It could be just Tom Holland Spider-Man ending up in space. I think it's more likely that it's probably Toby or Andrew popping up in Secret Wars, and that's where they're going with it. And they get killed off or whatever, but that's what I think is going to happen. I think that's more likely, so I actually liked the post-credit scene, and I liked how it was ambiguous with, like, Spider-Man will return, but it did not say when. I thought that was well done, so yeah, I thought the movie was great. I'm actually going to plan on seeing it likely tomorrow. I have other work to do today, so, and as you could probably tell, I feel like shit, so seeing it today would not be wise. Jordan B. said, what is your favorite Hell in a Cell match that did not involve The Undertaker versus Triple H? It's a good question. Probably Punk and Drew from... Actually, no, I take that back. Punk and Drew from Bad Blood 2024 was great. That was an excellent Hell in a Cell match. My favorite Hell in a Cell match, my personal favorite Hell in a Cell match is Edge and Taker from '08. But that features Taker, so I can't say that one. My favorite Hell in a Cell match to not feature Triple H or Taker would probably be Edge and Seth Rollins from Crown Jewel 2021. That is I don't know if it's an underrated match, but it was the perfect finale for their feud. Such a great match. They worked so well together. And it was in Saudi, sure, but it still ended up being such a great fucking match. So I probably would say that one, and then I would say the Punk and Drew one from 2024. Let's see. The next question also comes from Jordan. He has a bit of a ranking question here. This would probably be more appropriate for WrestleRant ranks, but we haven't done an episode of that in a few months just because I've been busy. So we'll do it here. He said, after Brock Lesnar's match against Obafemi, how would you rank all of his SummerSlam matches? This is my ranking, he says. Brock and Roman from 2022 at number 1, he said. He also said, this is biased since I was there for that match. He said, LOL. Number 2, Brock and Punk from 2013. Number 3, Brock and Strowman versus Joe and Roman Reigns at 2017, the Fatal 4-Way. Number 4, Brock and Taker 2015. Number 5, Brock and Rollins 2019. Number 6, Brock and Rock at 2002. Number 7, Brock and Cody from 2023. Number 8, Brock and Cena from 2014. Number 9, Brock and Kurt from 2003. Number 10, Brock and Oba from 2026. Number 11, Brock and Triple H from 2012. And number 12, from 2012. And number 12, Brock and Roman from 2018. Number 13, Brock and Randy from 2016. I largely agree with that ranking. The only things I would change, I would move Brock and Rock up higher. I would probably put that at 3. I feel like 6 is low. I would put that above the 4-Way. I would put it above Brock and Taker, which the finish for I did not like. And I would also put it above Brock and Rollins. All of those are great matches, but I would adjust the rankings ever so slightly. And then as for the rest of it, I might put Brock and Cody above Brock and Rollins. I might do that. Brock and Rollins was really, really good, but Brock and Cody was the perfect finale for that feud as well, and I thought they worked really, really well together. So I would probably put that above Brock and Rollins, which a lot of people tend to forget about. Brock and Cena, I think, is perfectly fine where it is. It was more of an angle than an actual match. And then, let's see, Brock and Kurt, I think is fine where it is. Brock and Oba, you could probably put that even lower, but I did like that even though it was brief. I liked it more than Brock and Triple H, which was good, but it was fucking boring, I would say. The 2018 Brock and Roman match wasn't great. It was fine. And then Brock and Orton from 2016 was definitely disappointing. That was easily his worst SummerSlam match. So I would make some slight adjustments, but overall, I would say you're pretty spot on there with your ranking. Last couple of questions. At Ope 3-Way, who I met at SummerSlam this past week. They're great dudes. He had asked, what do you anticipate the biggest stories will be on Raw and SmackDown leading into Survivor Series in Houston? I imagine WWE will have a tough time selling the event out if they have to tarp off SummerSlam, even if Survivor Series is only one night. Just give me 1 second. I have more napkins here. We're going to wrap up here in a minute, but I need more fresh napkins before we ride off into the sunset here. So as far as biggest stories going forward, it's pretty clear they're going to continue building around the bloodline, and they're going to make some sort of War Games story out of that. I don't give a shit about that personally, but clearly it's headed towards bloodline versus like LA Knight, Solo, Royce Keys, maybe another person or two. That appears to be the War Games match for this year. They've been building towards that for a very long fucking time. I personally do not care, especially since we've seen it already so many times in recent years, but that's probably where they're going with it. Beyond that, I mean, we already kind of got we got a good idea on both nights of SummerSlam, but Punk and Owens, Orton and Cody, Roman and Knight for right now, Oba and Braun Breaker. They gave us a good idea of what to expect going forward. With the women, I'm not really sure. I think they'll continue having Charlotte and Jade feud. I don't know where Rhea fits into all of that. She's still technically champion, which is weird. I would have just taken the title off of her, but whatever. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm not really sure what other stories would feel big enough, but those are some pretty big stories heading into those shows. So I am looking forward to most of those stories, if not all of them. Last 3 questions from @Iwagu91 on Twitter. He says, do you think Mickie James and Nick Aldis will team up in a WWE ring in the future? No, I don't. But honestly, you brought that idea to my attention here, and that's an idea I like. That would actually allow Nick Aldis to pick up a win. I mean, he could also beat like a fucking mid-carder or whatever if he were to wrestle again, which he should, after losing in his in-ring debut in WWE. But, a mixed tag team match would be good. I just don't know who it would be against. If he ran it back with Gunther and they brought in Jenny from NXT UK, I don't think she's wrestling anymore. She had a baby. Not that she can't wrestle, but I don't think she's wrestled at all since she left WWE. And also, it's not like she was a big enough star in NXT UK for people to remember her and be like, oh yeah, she's back teaming with Gunther. I don't really think people would care. So it would have to be like some other random duo on SmackDown or Raw, or an actual couple. I just don't know what couple that would be. Like, I don't see Nick Aldis and Mickey teaming up against, like, Bianca and Montez, for example, or even Rollins and Becky, or Punk and AJ, or Jimmy Uso and Naomi. You know what I mean? That just kind of feels like a weird grouping of talent, so I don't even know who that match would be against, unless it was someone that Nick Aldis was feuding with and there was a woman also involved in the story. His second question, your thoughts on AEW doing a second tournament appertaining to the Continental Championship. I'm not a fan. We do not need a fucking tournament going into All In, another tournament. We're already going to get the Continental Classic in a few months. I don't really think that's necessary at all. The matches will be good, I'm sure. The matches are always good in AEW, but do we need another fucking tournament? No, especially not for the Continental title. So, personally, I am not a fan. I would rather they just crown a number one contender some other way, but they probably see this as their way of, killing time between now and All In with meaningful matches in their mind, but I'm not really a fan personally. I just don't really think it's necessary. And then last thing here from AnyWagoo91, do you know that this month will mark a decade since Kenny Omega won the G1 Climax, becoming the first non-Japanese star to do so? I did not know that. I forgot about that. I forgot Kenny Omega won the G1 Climax in 2016. I thought it was like 2017 or 2018. But you are right. It was in 2016. I was not really following much New Japan back then beyond what the Bullet Club was doing, which he was a part of, but I was more so following it when AJ was the member or the leader. And then after he left, I didn't really kind of get back into it until the Omega Okada stuff sort of started in 2017. That's about it. Let's go back to the chat here before we head on out. I think we got another super chat from Daniel, which is just insane. And, well, we got two super chats. Two different super chats from Daniel. Thank you, brother. You're just the fucking man. You are just on a whole other level here today, Daniel. You're the man. I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. You're the best. Fritchie's like, yo, Dan, let me get a $20 king. He said, Kenny, but damn you to go. Seriously, you just funded somebody $5 Tuesdays for a gram. Seriously, I can go to the movies for the rest of the fucking year thanks to your gracious super chats, Daniel. Hopefully it will heal my health in the days and weeks to come. And I can be back here on Thursday for the show and not feeling as much, as badly as I have been here today. Oh, God. Let's see. Eric says, did I see the trailer for Bad Lieutenant? I did not. I don't know what movie you're talking about, personally. Eric saying, LA using the Echo Delta Shield thing to say Roman sucks was funny. I thought that was clever. That was really funny. Daniel said, wanted to leave more. Daniel, you're the fucking man. Thank you so much. Again, that is very much appreciated. You're a real one, so thank you so much for that. And congrats again on your gig. Let me know how it goes once you get going here real soon. Nathaniel said, so you think we'll see Braun Breaker leaving the Vision soon? I fucking hope so. I hope so. I know I saw the thing with Heyman last night. I hope he breaks away from the Vision and goes back with Heyman. I know internally that was the belief a while ago. That's where they were going with it, that we would get Braun back with Heyman. But hopefully it happens outside of the Vision, because that group at this point is just, who gives a shit? Who could possibly care about the Vision at this point in 2026? You know what I mean? So I have no interest in that whatsoever. As far as him staying in the Vision, I would have him leave the group with Heyman's already kind of left the group, but I would have him pair back up with Heyman. If he was going to be a heel as a babyface, he doesn't have to. But I would have him leave the Vision regardless. I agree. Nathaniel said, where do you think Jean Grey appears next? Secret Wars. I think that's been confirmed. I think she'll be in Secret Wars. Nike fans said Nick Aldis and Mickey James versus Cardona and Chelsea Green. That would work. That would work. Mickey and Chelsea have history from... Actually, I think they did that match in the NWA many years ago. I think they did do that match a while ago because they were all feuding in the NWA many years ago. So doing that on SmackDown would actually be pretty cool. That would be a nice use of Cardona. It'd be the best possible spot for him given where he is right now. Nike fans said, end off here. Will you be going to see that movie, The End of Oak Street? Yes, we will be seeing that movie. It's like a dinosaur movie, and Alexis and I kind of... The first movie that we saw together was one of the Jurassic World movies, which was terrible. But we bonded over that, so that like dinosaurs are kind of our thing now. So we go see a lot of the dinosaur movies that come out, including all the awful Jurassic World movies. Specifically, the most recent one that came out last year, which I did not think was good at all. Yeah, but we are seeing that movie when it comes out in a couple of weeks. I think it comes out next Friday. We'll have to see it on a Tuesday because Alexis has her musical for the next few weeks on the weekend. So we'll have to see it on a $5 Tuesday, probably next Tuesday or the Tuesday after that. I think the movie comes out next Friday. So we would have to see it in 2 days from today, or 2 weeks from today. But yes, we will be seeing that movie. And then Nike also said, should WWE replace the current baddies with Kalani Jordan and Jada Parker? I mean, that would be fine, but honestly, I think it's a good spot for Meechin and BFAB because if you replace them, and maybe at some point you can, but if you replace them, they're fired. They're gone from the company. I honestly think Kalani and Jada have a higher ceiling than just being henchwomen. I would rather see them on Raw or SmackDown getting actual like character development and spotlight as single stars as opposed to just being background players in a group where they're not getting any of the spotlight at all, and they'll likely lose a lot of their matches. I know BFAB pinned Chelsea on SmackDown this week, so good for her on that. But long term, they're not getting pushed. So no, I would not do that. I think that's the perfect spot for BFAB. I like Meechin a lot, but they're not going to push her beyond the level that she's at right now. It's definitely a good spot for BFAB. If you're going to have BFAB in the company, I'm not advocating for her to get fired or anything, but if you're going to have her on the roster as like a jobber, having her be like a minion or a baddier, as you say, as we call it for Jade Cargill, is probably the best role for her at this point. And he also said Jurassic World Rebirth was a good movie. Which year did that come out in? The 2018 one sucked. The one that came out in 2022 was, I thought, good. We did like that one. That was the third of the Jurassic World movies. The one they came out with last year, I did not like. I think she liked it more than I did, but I personally did not like that movie. I thought it was very goofy and just not. I was very bored by that movie. So I forgot which one the Rebirth one was. But the one that came out in 2022 we did like. And I also liked the first Jurassic World movie in 2015. I enjoyed that one for what it was. But that's going to do it, guys, for today's episode of #AskGSM. I appreciate you guys tuning in here today for what has been a successful 2-hour stream. Thank you again, Daniel, for all the super chats. You're the fucking man. Congrats to him again for his new gig. Very happy to hear about that. And just thanks for all the love this past weekend over SummerSlam. I know we haven't had a ton of content go up, but I will be having more content go up soon. I said earlier that the Miz interview that I did, which I really, really liked, to be honest with you, and I don't say that of a lot of stuff. I thought the interview went really well, and it should be up for channel members first. So if you become a channel member, even if only briefly, you should get the Miz interview early and ad-free, even as early as the next day or two, days before everyone else will here on the channel for regular subscribers. So just a heads up on that. Also, let me know that you are a channel member, and I will shout you out here in our videos. That includes Alexis, Miss Mon Matthews, Dillon, DiGiacomo, Mrs. Renee, Daniel, Malcolm, at I'm Quarter on X, DJ Swerve 1, at Swerve 1 on IG, Mr. Marceau, at RJ_Marceau on X, John Ritland, Real Honesty with John Ritland on YouTube, Richie Red Planet Wrestling on YouTube, and Average Grunt at GruntWrestling.BlueSky on social on Blue Sky, and Bill Meister, who was our newest channel member as of last week. So thank you to Bill, and thank you to everyone else, especially Daniel, like I said, for those hefty super chats. I appreciate that a lot. More information on how to become a WrestleRant All Access Pass channel member down below in the description box. $5 a month might get you the Miz video early and ad-free before anyone else. Had some interesting quotes in there from or about CM Punk, among other people. So keep that in mind for, if you want to become a channel member. Also, if you want to support or rather send in a question to the show, you can do so by tweeting me on the Twitter machine at WrestleRant with the hashtag AskGSM. Find me on facebook.com/graham.gsm.matthews. Drop a question on the shirt or on the post I usually put up on Monday nights, if not on the wall itself. And last but certainly not least, include your question down below in the comment section on this very video. I will include your question in next week's edition. All right, guys, have an awesome rest of your week. Be sure to like this video on your way out. Thank you for liking the video already if you have. Chatting along with us here today. I had a lot of activity in the chat. Thank you to everyone that watched live, chatted live. You guys are great. Thank you so much for that. And also, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for every time we're live here on the channel, typically Tuesdays and Thursdays, for #AskGSM and WrestleRant Radio, respectively. Which means we'll see you again back here on Thursday, if I'm feeling up to it, and depending on the time with Mr. Marceau. I don't know what time yet, but we will be back very likely on Thursday for WrestleRant Radio. We'll see you then, guys. I'll check back the chat one more time. See what you guys were saying. Thank you, Richie. Saying, Nike was talking about last year's movie. I didn't like that one, Nike. I didn't like last year's Jurassic World movie. But Richie said, W streaming a massive W chat. Thank you, Richie. You were always awesome. Congrats again on your new gig. And Daniel as well. Can't thank you enough for the support. But yeah, we'll be back on Thursday. Very likely if I'm feeling up to it. Today, I probably should not have done this stream, but we are here. I will try to get some rest, Richie. I will do my best. I don't know if I'll have time. I have to do some other shit around 8, so hopefully I have a couple hours to kind of reset a little bit in the next couple hours. So again, guys, I apologize for today's stream being, off the rails a little bit due to my health, but we should be back to normal pretty soon. Till next time, guys, I'm Graham GSM Matthews. Have an awesome one, and I'll catch your ass down the road.